Great. Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take a top stories in crypto and break them down into bite-sized pieces. So today, just as the thumbnail and title suggest, Bitcoin is disappearing. And where it's disappearing from are the exchanges as people start to take Bitcoin off the exchanges. And it really just comes down to a couple of different reasons. But first of all, we're going to take a look at why there's a run on the bank. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin reserves are at a 3-year low and what caused that. And then we're going to break it down into the actuality of why. Why is it happening right now? What are the factors that have led so many people to take Bitcoin off of the reserves and then or off the exchanges? And also we'll take a look at on the good side, just take a look at just how much things are being generated as far as donations to the Ukraine situation. And at the very end, we'll just do a quick Q&A, which is 5 questions in 5 minutes. So before we get started, first of all, if you're here for the live stream, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Monday, everybody's excited because, when the market opens up, we'll see what happens. And I can just tell you from the prices, it's not looking good. Also, if you're here for the replay, just know there'll be timestamps below so you can fast forward, do what you want to do. News takes around 15 to 20 minutes, and at the end of the Q&A. So let's jump into it, shall we, and see just what the heck we got. Not good. The market is, and I got to tell you, it takes me a couple hours to get things ready. And I have just watched this market cap number go down and down and down over the last 2 hours or so. So it was around, I want to say almost 1.9 trillion. And now we're below 1.8 trillion. Where'd that 100 billion go? I seem to have lost 100 billion. I don't know if you could check the couch cushions, but it's gone. 100 billion gone. And I think it's because people are anticipating a pretty big drop into the opening bell for S&P 500, NASDAQ, and the traditional markets here in the States. An assumption. And we'll see how it works. And I actually did a quick poll and asked people that, and over a couple thousand people responded on Twitter, and they all pretty much said the same thing. First, actually, I'll pull it up at the very end, but for the majority, we were like, it's probably going to be a drop. And then the next, what people said was, in 3 to 5 years, who cares? And I think that's the bigger picture. But as you can see, let me refresh this again. Let me make sure it hasn't dropped even more. Same. So Bitcoin, below 39,000. It held for a while, but of course, here we go. Here we go again. Ethereum, big loser, down 5%. Everything's down. Anything up? Solana's up 0.2%. Wow. And everything else is down. Who's down big time? 6% for Phantom, 3%, 4%. This is just how it goes. For quite some time, you're going to see some pretty big blood in the streets. And I think that is just the crypto market. And there's some people out there, and I've been against leverage plays. But in all honesty, if you take a look at the leverage plays, this is from CoinGlass. You can look this up. It's coinglass.com/liquidation data. And if you take a look right here where it says 24-hour wrecked, 200 million. That's not that much in all honesty. 200 million isn't a ton, but I just want to show this to you real quick. These are total liquidations over from 30th of November, 2021. So not too long ago. And you can just see that this is the longs and the shorts of what gets liquidated. You tell me, which one do you think gets liquidated more? Just by taking a look at this. Which one gets hurt? The longs, the shorts? Yeah, it's the shorts. Just kidding. Yeah, it's the longs. The longs are the ones that get liquidated the most because it's the people with the most exuberance and the most belief. And they think, well, it's going to go pretty well. And then they go on leverage trades and they just get crushed. And I think that's just either the inexperience of the market or the hubris of people who believe that everything's just going to go to the moon. I can tell you where things are going, but I can't tell you when. So that is why it is important to be careful, do your own research, all that stuff I talk about. And if you want to be safe, just dollar cost average. Who cares what's going to happen tomorrow or today? The big thing is what's going to happen in 3, 5, 10 years. And that's how you set yourself up for success. And if you want to play this game down here, go right ahead. And I can tell you, if you want to short works out pretty well until that one time that it does not. Take a look at December 2017. Doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. So that's what we have. So let's just jump into it about what's going on and the big news today, which is this. This was there's a couple of videos that I put out that have been sent to me on my Twitter account. If you don't follow me, it's at News Asset on Twitter. Links in the description as always. And this is where I pretty much field out all the stories I'm going to talk about today. And you can see this is a pretty long line. First of all, I thought this was a line from McDonald's, because I kept seeing the McDonald's. I'm like, is McDonald's that great? And of course, no, it's people in Russia trying to take out money from their ATMs. And you have to understand that ATMs only hold so much. So as time goes on, where are people going to go? Well, they're going to go to the banks. And what are the banks going to tell you? Well, if you do a run on the banks, here's a little hint. They don't, all that money that's in your bank account, like if you had $250,000 in your bank account, I don't care what bank it is. Most banks, if you go up there and go, I want my $250,000 in cash right now, they're like, sir, ma'am, we don't have it. You have to wait a couple of days for us to get that money. Like, are you serious? Yeah, it's just zeros and ones. It's just an electronic ledger that we keep. Essentially, that's really what it is. If you want cash, we'll get it to you. Just hold on. So you're going to see a lot of this happening, and ATMs can only do so much. Here's another video itself. So not that there's a run on the banks per se right now. There's a run on ATMs. ATMs only have so much. Then they go to the banks. The bank's like, well, we only got so much, so sorry. So we're going to take a look at what's going on. But this is what I found interesting today. I was just taking a look at a little on-chain analysis from a friend of the show, CryptoQuant. Links in the description. You can sign up if you want to. But I was just taking a look here, and I found it pretty interesting that this is all exchange reserves, Bitcoin, all exchange reserves. So all the exchanges that have Bitcoin, and you can see that that's in the purple there, exchange reserves. And you can see down here, it's been going pretty low since October. Actually, it starts up here around 2. Let me blow this up so you can see it. 2.4 million. Okay. Then it kind of just whipsaws and goes down a little bit and comes up. But now you can see it really going down. And since around right about here, 30th of January, people got spooked. And all of a sudden, the things that were going on with the governments in different countries and things like that, and people talking about freezing accounts and freezing wallets. Hint, you can't freeze wallets. You can freeze centralized exchange wallets, but you can't freeze Ethernet wallets or paper wallets or ledgers or things like that, but whatever. So you're going to see like people just like, well, I want to take some out. And then, of course, 14th Fed and all the news about Ukraine. And here we are at, we went up a little bit, 2.37 million. And if you take a look at that, you're like, it's interesting. Let's just take a look back and go back a year or so. It was just a steady decline, actually. And there was a lot of people right here. And this is, of course, when Bitcoin price goes down, people want to, for some reason, want to put on the exchange and sell like crazy. And then, of course, that's the wrong time to sell, but whatever. And then you're going to see it went back. And here it is at almost 3 million exchange reserves. Let's go back even further. And you can just see like this is, and I'm going back to 2019. Hold on. There, so you can see it better. We were here and it just keeps going down. Now we're all the way up here and we're back to 2019. And the only time it was below that, let me go way back, was right around, not even here, in around August of 2018, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, so actually 3.5 years. And this is when, the market, first of all, we didn't even, because of Bitcoin mining, we didn't have there's only so many Bitcoin that were actually produced. Every single block, there's so many that are produced. I don't know if it's 6.25 or 12. I always forget. But you can see over the years, like this is not that much as far as reserves. And we're lower than we were in 2018. So the question then is, well, if all this is going on, where's it going? Well, if you take a look at Glassnode, this is the number of non-zero addresses of Bitcoin for just addresses themselves. And of course, these will be wallets. It's only so much that the exchanges can produce. It looks kind of weird here because it has this 100,000 on the right. And you're like, that's so on the upper right-hand corner, you have 100,000 and 10,000. That's the Bitcoin price on the right. And on the left, you can see the number of wallets, or the number of non-zero addresses. And this is the highest it's ever been. Non-zero addresses just reached 40 million. So what does that mean? That means a lot of people, either they're splitting up all of their wallets into smaller wallets, which could be it. But I think what a lot of people are doing is kind of figuring out like, Bitcoin looks pretty good. We should probably get into it. Now, that doesn't reflect to here, obviously, which would be nice, but it doesn't yet. But if we take a look here, we're like, wow, there's a lot of people who are hanging on to Bitcoin or getting into Bitcoin. So that leads me to the question then, of course, of why. Why is this all going on? Why is this happening right now? There's actually many reasons. First of all, you're going to hear this a lot today. Ruble-denominated Bitcoin volume surges to 9-month high. The ruble is going to be in shambles with all the sanctions and things like that. And we'll get to what Russia wants to do. And they want people to actually, sell off their other currencies and just put it all in the ruble, which I don't think they're all going to do, but whatever. And this is a pretty good article. Trading volume between the Russian ruble and Bitcoin increased to 9-month highs as the country's fiat currency plunged to record lows. And it's an interesting article, but this is all you got to know. This is all you got to know for this article. This is a spike in the ruble-based crypto trading volume. And this is all on Binance. You can see that when Russia invaded Ukraine, everybody's like, you know what? We'll just try to get out of the ruble and put ourselves into Bitcoin, which would kind of make sense, right? We want to put ourselves into Bitcoin, and then we can transact with Bitcoin and do the things we want to do. And the people that didn't do that, of course, this is what happens. Now, is this the end-all, be-all, like everybody should be in Bitcoin? No, I don't think everybody should be in Bitcoin. It doesn't make sense for everybody in every single situation. Obviously not, right? And the next question is, well, why don't they just use debit cards? Well, it's because the sanctions that are coming on, some of these credit card, debit card processors, they're now offline for Russian citizens, which is a shame because it's not the Russian citizens that wanted the war and the sanctions. It was the people in power, the government. That's always the problem. There's a big dichotomy between the government and the people itself. So I want everybody to make sure we're clear on that. It's not like I'm here to pile on the Russian citizens. They just got screwed by their government, which, not the first time. And also, we have to take a look at this. Russian banks raise key rates to 20% in desperate measure to save ruble. First of all, what are key rates? The key rate is the interest rate at which banks can borrow when they fall short of their required reserves, which, of course, that's what's happening right now because people are taking all their money out. So if we take a look here, authorities told export-focused companies, people, industries, corporations who export products and services, mostly products, outside of Russia to sell the foreign currency as the ruble tumbled to record lows. I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I would, if the government told me to do that, hey, sell all the dollars for something else. I'm like, what? I don't know if I should do it. That's a good business move for here. The ruble opened 40% lower against US dollars on Monday. Russia state-owned Sberbank is failing or likely to fail, another bank to fail. The European Central Bank said in a prepared statement. And that's one of the sanctions. They're pulling certain Russian banks off the SWIFT system. Now that could be catastrophic for other industries, but not all banks are being pulled off. Looks like there's just a few, and maybe this is Sberbank. Russia's also ordered companies to sell 80% of their foreign currency revenues, the central bank and the finance ministry said. So again, if you're a Russian citizen and you're like, well, I got to do that, I got to sell my foreign currency, well, maybe I could put it into something else that might hold its value. And I think that's the interesting part. I don't know does anybody know the price of gold today? I don't know if I would put it into gold. You know what? I got the internet. Let's see. Gold price. This ought to be interesting. I wonder if that store of value narrative is working out for. I don't know. Actually, it is doing pretty good. It's doing better. So we went here, down to here, down here. Yeah, okay. I guess for some people it can work out. I got to tell you, I don't know if I was in Russia and I wanted to get a store of value and start to transact with people, I don't know if carrying around coins and bricks of gold would work out too well, but maybe it works out for some people. And then also, on top of that, another reason is, I think the reason why people are taking Bitcoin, getting to Bitcoin and taking it off the exchanges are stories like this. Because I think the smart people know that, okay, well, you can shut down centralized exchanges, but you can't shut down my Ether wallets or my paper wallets or my ledgers or my Bitcoin wallets because you don't have access to those. But you do have access to those exchanges. Okay, so Ukraine asks exchanges to freeze Russian and Belarusian crypto accounts. I think this is a huge, huge mistake. I can understand why they're doing it, but I mean, who does that really hurt? Who does that hurt? Does it hurt Vladimir Putin and their government? No. It hurts people. So, Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, Mikhailo Fedorov, has asked all major crypto exchanges to block addresses of Russian users. Binance said it had no plans to unilaterally freeze user accounts in Russia. Congratulations, Binance. Did the right thing, in my opinion. You're welcome to disagree with me, but tell me why in the comments. And they state this: crypto is meant to provide greater financial freedom for people across the globe. To unilaterally decide to ban people's access to their crypto would fly in the face of the reason why crypto exists. However, we are taking the steps necessary to ensure we take action against those who have had sanctions levied against them. These will be individual oligarchs, I would assume, maybe accounts for whoever else that are high up there that are specific to the government, while minimizing the impact to innocent users. Should the international community widen those sanctions, we'll apply it as well. And then there was something else, though, before that. Yeah, this part, I must have forgot this. So Fedorov, that's from the Ukraine, he also said it's crucial to freeze not only the addresses linked to Russian and Belarusian politicians, but also to sabotage ordinary users. I don't know if that's a misquote, but I don't know why he would say, yeah, we want to sabotage ordinary users. That doesn't make any sense why anybody would say that. But there are people in the fight and say, yeah, I'll do that. So DeMarket, a Ukrainian-born digital assets company that works as an exchange to trade virtual items from any game on any platform, states connecting the entertainment industry with the global metaverse has accepted. The company tweeted to say Ukrainian-born startup DeMarket cuts all relationships with Russia and Belarus due to the invasion of Ukraine. The registration of the platform is prohibited for all users from Russia and Belarus. Accounts of previously registered users from these areas are frozen. Look, man, you're welcome to do whatever you want to do. I just don't know how that would affect essentially the people that caused this issue. And whether you want to say, well, America caused this issue and NATO caused this issue and Russia, it's governments. I think we can all agree on that. It's not like the people at general is like, we really want to invade. And here's another thing. Does anybody in any country these days really say, oh, I can't wait for war? That's not how it goes. It's mostly the people in power that want more power. Power begets power, and that is the problem. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And lastly, here's some good stuff. Donations. So there's already been I want to say over 15 million had flooded into Ukraine for these donations. And I know how people will say, we got to watch out for different donations. That is true, because some places you will donate to, they'll just take all your money. But right now, I would say that people in Ukraine need not only, and this is where there's a ton of effort being put in this, not only are they being shipped medical items, but they're also being shipped weapons and different supplies that they need to fight this war. Sure. But I think there's a bigger issue that's going to unfold. I talked about this the last 3 days, which is the refugee issue. So this was pretty cool. This was from, who's this? CoinDesk. Binance is going to donate $10 million to Ukraine refugees. Great, because look, all these people that are coming out, and if you're in between the ages of 18 and 60, as I understand it, you can't, and a male, you can't leave Ukraine. You're there to fight. And if you go across the border, you're turned back. So who are these refugees? Females, elderly, children. I think that's the ones who really need it. Binance says the money will be donated to NGOs on the ground to help refugees and children. Binance will allocate the funds through organizations such as UNICEF, UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, ISANS, and People in Need. And before people say, that place sucks and this is awful and da-da-da, look, it's the best option. Will it be mismanagement of funds? Yeah, probably. But, at some point, you got to get off the sidelines and just say, well, I got to do something. The donation is in addition to a crypto crowdfunding project, Humanity First, Ukraine Emergency Relief Fund, which is a target of almost 20 million. Donations can be made in BNB, BUSD, Bitcoin, and Ether. And then I'll skip this one. UNHCR will provide immediate emergency relief such as food, water, medical supplies, and working to improve the living conditions in the shelters, again, for the refugees as they go over to Poland and different places. And then Binance supports the International Strategic Action Network, first set up an organization in Poland in 2020, and has operations in Slovakia to open up another critical path of exit for people. That's pretty cool. And this is how you do it. So I linked it at the very top of the description of this video. If you click on that link, let me see. Let me blow this up. You don't want to see my enormous head. So when you go there, it's binance.charity/Ukraine. Again, the link's in the description. It's the very first one. And when you go there, if you click on that donate, that yellow that you can see in the back, I've already done it. And then you can just donate right here. It's pretty cool. So you just go like, I'm going to donate around almost 4,000, right? Or whatever Bitcoin. I think you can change it over here. Yeah. Okay. This is the amount. I'll click continue. I've already got my information in. Digital asset news, message of beneficiary, whatever you want to say. You click continue. And then you scan this. So how I would do it is I would take my phone and I would just go to, the easiest way is use an exchange, honestly. Like I would just use Voyager. I go to Voyager. I click on Bitcoin. I click transfer. Send Bitcoin out of Voyager. And see that QR code right there? Like in Voyager, on the upper right corner, it'll have like a little barcode. You click on the barcode, and you scan that, and then you just send it. And you can do it. You can just do it like that. You don't need this part here, the transaction ID. This is only if you want to. I believe it's only if you want to display your name on the donation page. Could be wrong, but yeah. So that's it. So that's how, and then you just put your transaction ID right down here after you're done. And that's it. That's as simple as you possibly can get it. And I think it's, I'll get to it later. No. And that's what's going on. So look, that's what's happening in the world today right now. Expect some obviously extreme volatility, especially when things open up. I don't know, like I thought there would be a little bit better because like the news itself is pretty positive about what's going on as far as the community coming together. But I think that people think they're scared. And of course, there comes volatility. That's it. So look, that's it for today's news piece. If you got to take off and get things done, it's cool. I'll see you later. Thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. Just tell me why, so maybe I can fix it next time. Also consider subscribing. If you're already here, you might as well subscribe. I mean, we're here all day. It's been 23 minutes. Come on. And that's it. Now we get into the Q&A. 5 questions in 5 minutes, and we'll get the heck out of here. Let's do that. Let's do that. Mohammed, first question. What does the title of this video mean? It means that, and you can go back and watch it. So it's gone. The amount of reserves that were on all the exchanges for Bitcoin has been evaporating, and it's only going to accelerate. And we talked about how this is like a 3.5 year low of the Bitcoin exchanges. It's gone, and it's going into cold storage. And I talk about that, and I talk about why it could actually accelerate. And we see things like that are going on in Ukraine, also other different governments that are talking about freezing different accounts because people don't want to have their accounts frozen in exchanges, so they take them off into cold storage. Hope that answers your question. Yes, thumbs. Actually, what we do, so the revenue from this YouTube channel for this month is going to go to Ukraine. Second question. Good day, Rob. Are you worried about the ISO standards that may not be met by majority of crypto coins as per EU's market MICA. That's a market in crypto accounts. Yeah, that's a. And so the ISO standards that they're talking about, first of all, they have to put it to a vote. And that vote that was supposed to come out, I think it was supposed to be today, has been pushed back because they were talking about banning proof of work. So first of all, that whole law that has to now be rewritten. So we'll see how that goes as far as like the standards and what they want to do. The big thing to me is how are they going to actually work with the exchanges to actually get everything in place and make things a little bit more easier for people to use. And if it'll actually be like more of the same, or they can ban things. That's my big thing. Okay, where are we? Thoughts on Luna decoupling from Bitcoin. Question number 3. Look, there's been a huge amount of money raised for Luna. Seems like a lot of VCs and a lot of people want that thing to work. So just remember, just right now it's decoupling and it's a bump. I don't think that you're going to see for a long time Bitcoin going down, 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 and Luna going up, 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 or the exact opposite happening. Usually it's just a little bit of a pump and then off we go. Let's take a look. How's Luna doing today? That's not it. Well, it is, like I said, it's up 52% for the week, but again, it's down almost a percentage point. But who cares? If you're in the money for that, like I own Luna, I think it's going to be great. But I don't think it's decoupled. You're still in the shadow of this guy or this juggernaut, which is Bitcoin. Good question. That's a good question. Question number 3. Aid. Hey, Rob, do you own gold? Yes. If not, would you consider? I'll be honest with you, man. The only reason I own gold is because it's just been a narrative for so damn long. I saw this interview. It was between Richard Hart and some guy, some gold bug guy who's irrelevant. And it was sad. It was just a sad debate. You can find it. I think it was last week or a couple days ago. And this gold bug was, at first he's like, gold's the greatest. And then he gets into it and he's like, I don't tell people to put everything into gold. I say it should be a small percentage of your portfolio. And then he's like, but it's good against things. But I also get into stocks and other stuff because there's more appreciation. And I'm like, well, if that's what you're going for, man, and you're talking about how much there's appreciation and upside, why don't you just talk about Bitcoin? Because that's been kicking the living tar out of gold and metals for the longest time. So that guy personally has lost more people money from him touting about how gold is great and turning them away from Bitcoin and other digital assets, that it's staggering. Even my brother fell for it. And I'm like, God damn it. If you just would have listened, I know his name. I just don't say his name on this channel. Because it's like you've caused so much problems, and I get it. You can't help everybody. So that's it. But yeah, I own gold, which is why I'm like, I don't see why you can't own gold and say, if you're going to own gold as far as a store of value and as far as an alternative asset, why wouldn't you just get a little bit of Bitcoin? I don't see the problem. Question number 4, do you cold store most of your holdings? Yes. Or do you keep most on Voyager? No. And the reason is because there's a couple reasons. I mean, if you can gain yield on Voyager and Kraken and Gemini and Binance and all those places, and that's great. And you can gain yield in DeFi by putting it in as far as like farming liquidity. That's fine. But for me, I put it into cold storage because I know it's safe. And you never know what's going to happen. Now, Voyager has never been hacked, even though it is a brokerage. It's not an exchange per se. It's the hotels.com of crypto, essentially. But you never want to put all your eggs in one basket because we've seen it all happen before. So I don't put everything up there, and that's it. And it's all about your risk tolerance, how much you want to keep in there or not. This is a great question. Question number 4. I think this is it. Maybe 5. Have you tried to use Anchor Protocol with your Luna? No, but I've heard such great things. And I'm going to get into that because that's a good yield producer. And I was actually talking to my friend Jerry, Jerry Hall. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's over there in Costa Rica, and he's doing some crazy things with the Cosmos ecosystem and their wallets, like 100% yield and stuff like that for quite some time, actually. And he's like, this isn't sustainable. But right now it's looking pretty cool. I'm like, I got to get him on the show just to show you guys what he's doing. It's pretty cool. And again, there's a lot of risk in that, but hey. Oh. Someone says gold is being suppressed. It's all being suppressed, man. There's always some boogeyman in the background that's manipulating everything, and puppet masters and such and so forth. That's why, like when I hear those things, I mean, as it could be true or it could be not true. I'm like, this morning before I even woke up, the same Voyager executed the same order that it executes every single day. I buy the same 6 or 7 different cryptos every single day, and it just goes off without action. So I'm like, even if there is some puppeteer behind there manipulating everything, at some point you're going to want that price to go up. And we've seen it go up before, and sometimes you just can't control it. And when that happens, well, I did my job. I've been dollar cost averaging for years. Dollar cost averaging since early 2018. So I'll take advantage when it goes up. No. Juma, said his debate was with Richard. It was pretty good. Yeah, but it turned into like a big shouting match. So it's like, I'm unsubscribing. Well, don't let the door hit you on the way out. See ya. All right. And Frank says, last question, will Theta bounce back? I hope so. I own a lot of Theta. And if I would have executed my exit strategy like I was supposed to, and I've done videos on exit, and actually if you look in the description, I've got my exit plan down there. But if I would have executed my exit strategy for Theta, I would have only kept 20% of it because it actually did way better than my prediction. And now I could have actually bought a lot more, but I didn't. So Theta's one of those things that people talk about how great it can be with the metaverse and the things that it does as far as data storage that it works in conjunction with, as far as like putting it onto your computer, and it can do, gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. This is how Theta works, apparently. So you can stake it, puts on your computer, and then all those different HD 4K videos that are out there, well, you can either buy a massive data storage center, which is what Google does and YouTube does, or you can store it on different pieces of people's computers. You can pay them in Theta because they're running nodes, and then you don't have to pay those exorbitant amounts from data centers. Makes a lot of sense, right? Also, Dave Chen, who is one of the founders of YouTube, is one of their big advisors. Also, one of their enterprise validator nodes is also Google. So I'm like, if you look at some pedigree and things that they've done, looks pretty good, but just hasn't really performed right now. So we'll see. But I mean, they do have a pretty solid team. We'll see how it works out. I think it's just one of those things where time in the market is more important than timing that particular market. And that's it. So look, guys, we've gone 30, and ladies, 8% statistically. We've gone 34 minutes for this one. So let's get out of here. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you get a thumbs down, I probably made some people angry about the gold comments, but whatever. I don't see why people can't just own both. And if you can't come here and have an open mind, then adios. But that's it. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one. And then I'll put up 2 more videos right here so you can watch some more stuff.